Hey guys, it's Strutter, June 10th, 2018. I'm out on the patio, so there's going to be some random noises. Just wanted to show you my tomato plants before I go inside and talk about silver. I got about a 20-minute talk lined up, if you're down for that. But I just wanted to say that I've really enjoyed container gardening on the patio this year. I've got about 20 now of these nice big Sweet 100 tomato plants that are very healthy and very thick looking and really strong. And those were started from seed a couple months ago inside and then brought out onto the patio when it got a bit warmer. And they're grown in nothing but worm castings, which is poop, worm poop, dirt, just plain old worm poop. And there's nothing else in there. There's no fertilizers, no chemicals, no pesticides, nothing. This is 100% more than organic. So, and the flowers are just about starting there, so that's pretty cool. And I'll just give you a little look of my basil before we go inside. I've really enjoyed container gardening, taking my skills of growing in soil, in the ground, in dirt, in the earth, and adapting that for containers. My grandpa was a really good container gardener. He grew tomatoes on his patio. He had a big garden, but he also grew them on the patio because my grandma just loved tomatoes, so he would grow a ton of them. And so I learned some skills from him, and I got, like I said, about 20 of these nice big tomato plants. And it's just here, halfway through June, so by end of June I'll be eating ripe tomatoes off this patio. Did it last year too, and it was really good, but this year I thought I would go all out, and instead of just 3 plants, I've got 20, so they're all along the rail here. Should be an interesting year. Now let's go inside and talk about silver. This is going to be an incredibly low-tech silver price update, so if you're not down with that, then you can back out now, but that's just kind of how I've always done it, and I'm also not in a position really to upgrade my stuff right now, so that's how it is at the moment. And people have asked me to talk about silver lately. I've been keeping this channel open by doing a video every couple of weeks kind of thing. It's sort of not my passion right now. I have other things I want to talk about that this site doesn't actually allow anymore. YouTube. I'm sure you've heard recently that many topics are now not allowed, but you lose everything that you've ever done if you go there. So just kind of like it's sort of, I'm an outspoken person and I want to talk about certain things, but at the same time I have a lot to lose and a lot of history on this channel, a lot of things that I said at the right times, and I predicted a lot of things, and I've been right about a lot of things, and it would be really cool to keep a lot of these videos up, not just for that reason, but because they reach people and they help people, and well, because it's my voice, and that's, it was YouTube when I started. It was about you, it was about me, and I was allowed to upload anything I wanted, any combination of words or sounds or visuals, as long as it wasn't harmful to anyone, and not, within reason. You can't upload certain kinds of material, but I mean, the stuff that's now not being allowed is stuff that was always allowed throughout all of history, and it's almost incredible that we can consider that stuff off limits, these topics off limits, just not even criticism, just discussion or mentioning of certain things is enough to have books burned, so to speak. So as I've been trying to keep this channel open, just active, but not, I don't have a lot to say. I do a lot of my stuff on Steemit, and it was on Facebook, but I got completely deplatformed there. Memory hold, everything gone. But here on YouTube I like to keep the channel going, so here is a video about silver. People do ask me from time to time, because a lot of the 9,000 or so subscribers on this channel subscribed because of my silver content over the past 10 years or so, so why not talk a little bit about it now and then, right? But I don't follow the day-to-day price moves in silver, so I'm not really one to talk about the the micro movements and the and a technical analysis and such of that. Oops. Because, well, in part because, you know, technical analysis of silver really doesn't make a lot of sense anymore, and it hasn't for probably 7 to 8 years, maybe even longer. I learned my, you know, classical technical analysis skills on gold and silver charts back in 2006, 2007, 2008, and beyond. And it's, you know, it takes a long time to learn those skills, but when you watch a chart every day and you're in the fundamentals and you're in the technical analysis at the same time, you can see how one affects the other and so on, you can get better at things. And then when Bitcoin came out, Bitcoin was not manipulated as gold and silver charts are, and that is no longer a conspiracy theory, it's a conspiracy fact. Bitcoin was not manipulated, and I was able to make some pretty incredible calls, historic calls. In fact, I arguably, I guess, but I'm one of the best Bitcoin, whatever you want to call it, prognosticators or whatever, people who predicted future, you know, not just prices, but trends, and we're talking about Bitcoin even at the right time. I mean, I was talking about it on this channel in 2017 when a lot of YouTube channels started up, and a lot of channels have millions of views now for talking about Bitcoin. That started in 2017, but I still only have 9,000. But it wasn't 2017 that I started. In fact, it wasn't even 2015 that I started, though I was active during all those times. It wasn't even 2013 that I started talking about Bitcoin, although I was definitely talking about it in 2013, and I had a lot of videos from back then. Even talking about Bitcoin could go to 1,000, 4,000, then 20,000 and beyond. But back then, I was talking about Bitcoin in 2011. And if you were watching this channel in 2011, you know that I was talking about Bitcoin, and I was being bashed for even just mentioning it on this channel. I was in trouble. I lost a lot of subscribers for talking about cryptocurrencies when they first came out. And I saw the future potential of cryptocurrencies because I'm a monetary theorist. I understand currency and money. That's what I've been doing the past 10 years on YouTube. And as soon as I saw that, I knew, and I told you guys. And there are Bitcoin millionaires on this channel, perhaps watching this video right now, that found out about Bitcoin first here on the Drudder channel. So there are many reasons why I want to keep this channel going. And talking about silver from time to time is part of that, because that's kind of been the flow of this channel. And if you're reading between the lines and you're catching the drift I'm putting down, you know, I will talk about other issues, but I'll have to do it sort of in between talking about stuff that the algorithms want me to talk about. And no, I'm not going to put a lot of energy into this crap, because there are other platforms where I can get my voice out without having to run through these hoops and such. And am I even reaching anyone here? I know I've been shadow banned on this channel for a long time because of my, quote, borderline content, because I will talk about 9/11 and all those things, you know, things that as soon as you mention your video gets, you know, drops 50% in views, and that's not even joking. That's just how it is now. I talk about all that stuff. I talk about anything that's real. I talk about anything that matters, and this channel is full of that information, and I've been right all along. And it's nice to be able to say that. I can go back and look the 10, 12 years I've been making videos and talking about stuff. I haven't been wrong. I really haven't. And it's not, I'm not boasting or, you know, trying to get any credit or anything for that. That's just the case. That is just true. And I don't think it's a coincidence either, and it's not, you know, there's no shenanigans. It's not like I put out a whole bunch of videos and then delete the ones that don't come to pass or anything. No, people that have been watching this channel know I've just been right about so many things, from cannabis legalization being fake to Fukushima being not a little tiny problem like they said it was in the first few days, and I absolutely knew, and I told you, and talked about it for months after that, and said it's going to go on for years. And it's worse than ever right now. It is absolutely worse than it has ever been if you look into what's going on there right now. It's no better than it's than it was, and they're just going to have to dump all the wastes into the ocean. There's just nothing to do other than that. And the reactions are still going on under the ground and just bubbling out radioactivity into the Pacific Ocean. It's not a conspiracy. That really is happening, and there's massive problems because of it. And I talked about Bitcoin when it was, 1 cent. I was mentioning Bitcoin. It crashed to 1 cent. I was talking about it then. And just on and on and on. And the gold and silver conspiracy, price rigging, which turned out to be real. LIBOR and all that stuff all turned out to be real. The banking system, it's all fake. We all know that. It's all... The only thing maybe I was wrong about is I thought there was going to be an economic collapse. That's what we were talking about, remember, early in 2008, and then throughout the year it just got worse, and we were saying, is this the economic collapse that seems to be in the cards? My thought on that now is that there never will be one. I think that the economy is now, because of that actual collapse, the economy is now fully fake and fully fixed. It's fixed, it's faked. They have control over all the major things, and there's not really anything that can happen until they want something to happen, of course, and then something can happen. But mathematically, yeah, the system can't go forever, but I think they basically can just make it go until they're ready for something to, the next thing to happen. And then there will be a pre-planned new monetary system or something that will have to be popped into existence, announced after that. In fact, I think they are even talking about it right now. A lot of the major banks in the world are talking about this new system that's going to be, we got to be able to tax citizens globally in the digital age and stuff like that. It's yeah, good times. Sarcasm. Yeah, silver. That is what we're talking about, isn't it? At 1473 at the moment. This is a daily chart. Each candle is 1 day. And it has been between $14 and $16 for, well, weeks. Let's go into the weekly chart, because it's just been choppy for a long time on that daily chart. And look, it's been choppy on the weekly chart too. You can go quite a ways back. It's just between the 14 and this popped up to $20, but between 14 and 1750 really here, it's just been for years, many years now, and that's depressing. We never thought it could get that low on this channel. We were never talking about that. Yeah. And monthly, that's the monthly chart. Now there's, that tells the story. This is basically, let's see, let's go like that. There, that whole span here is basically the span that this channel has been open. I started it here on the left, I guess maybe right about here. Started doing a couple of Ron Paul videos and a few things, and started talking about silver here after the crash. I said, what the heck was that? I caught wind of it through my channels. I was watching Da Vinci, I was watching Vision Victory and a couple other people, Stella Concepts. And as the price started to recover here, that's when I bought my first couple ounces of physical silver, and then I started doing my channel at the beginning of 2009 and saw it through to this here, and I said, when it breaks that, there's going to be something interesting. And I came back from Burning Man that year, 2010, and it was the price move here, and it went to 50, and I never saw the top at 50. I had no idea where that top would be, and I fully admit that I did not call that top. And that was the top that Stella Concepts called. He seemed to know that was going to be $50, which was lucky and amazing for him. I don't even know where he is anymore. He may be here still on YouTube. But then this sort of washout period was very confusing, and some of us thought it was going to recapture that and take off again. Some of us thought, no, that was it. The bubble's popped. Turned out that the bubble was popped, but not because demand for physical silver went down, as I documented through 2013, 14, and 15, the Drutter divergence. As the price continued to go down, the demand for physical silver continued to go up, and that's never actually happened before. That's something that the chart had never seen, and it was a divergence that had never happened, I guess, or never been noticed. And so some of you remember the Drutter divergence, talking about on this channel and other channels during those years. And then we had a crash down to about $14 in the end of 2014, and then it happened again in the end of 2015, and then now we're still sort of bouncing along that $14 level, $15 level. So choppy for many years, but before that was that spike, and the global monetary system took fully control of the gold and silver charts from that point on, and price and demand have never been allowed to operate on this chart ever since. They operate on other charts, including on cryptocurrency charts, and even some other commodities, but gold and silver, no. Physical supply and demand have nothing to do with the price anymore, and that is how you get a fake market, and that's how you can get corruption and basically the monetary system mess that we have in the world today. And that has been fully documented here on the Dreader channel. So that's kind of some of the stuff that I don't want to lose, because I've been talking about it at, every one of these bars. I can remember talking about the fundamentals that were going on in the markets then, or talking about what I thought was coming next in prices, or whatever. It's all very important, and I think it's all part of the record, and I don't think it should be deleted just because I have said things at various times that, in the new light of coming laws and changes in society, are becoming out of favor politically, I guess. Just, like almost libertarianism, basically, I think, it's what's under attack. And alternative media and people who talk about what's really going on and who research it and have, an evidence-based channel and evidence-based videos and links and credibility and all that kind of stuff, that's under attack. And because the mainstream media does not have that. They don't have history. They don't have credibility. They have no street cred, and they have really no intellectual credibility. They have just themselves to pump themselves up, and the government to back them up and mandate that we listen to them and believe them. But as we've seen, and has been documented on this channel, the mainstream media is lying, is corrupt, is part of the problem, is propagandizing us, is leading the Western world, at least, is leading society into what they think is going to be what they want to be a very dark future for people, for the average person. Some dark times for liberty, and that's kind of what I've been always against, and I've always just been for power to the people. I believe that the people is where the power rests, is where the power must rest in a true, just, and honest society, which is the only kind of society I would want to live in. I don't understand people who don't mind living in corruption, don't mind living in basically squalor, basically a society that has no soul anymore. We're not even allowed to have a culture. We're not even allowed to be who we are, to be who we're born. We're not even allowed to be who we grow up to be in our families. We can't express ourselves the way we were brought up to. It's always wrong. It's always evil. It's always sinful. And now it's even worse than that. It's becoming people that speak the truth and who don't follow the status quo narrative are not only discredited, like I have been for a long time, not only attacked, not only have bad things happen to us behind the scenes sometimes even, or disappear even, but now all of our work, everything that we've ever done on a platform can be erased. And no, it wasn't owned by Google when I signed up here. It wasn't. That was in, I think it was May or June of 2006. More than 13 years ago that I signed up here for this channel. And I may lose that entire history. You know what? I would lose it, but they wouldn't lose it. They will have a complete copy of everything that I've ever typed into a keyboard under that name. Or anyone that ever was on a computer I was logged into under that name. They have every comment, every dislike every view that I've ever done, and they always will. That's how it works. The data is theirs forever. But as soon as you get memory hold, no one can ever know about you, just them. Not even you. You can't even find any of your own stuff. There's no record that you existed. And that's happened to so many people now. Many people that I know. And that will happen here. If there's any videos on this channel that you cherish or care about or whatever, go ahead and download them. I have them all already. I'm not going to lose anything that way. It's just the dates, the times, the comments, the history of all that will be lost. And that's a huge shame, a huge crying shame. But that is what's going to happen, because they've promised to do so. Anyone who's mentioned certain things, and there's no way you can, even go back and delete your videos where you've mentioned it. They have a transcript of every word that you have spoken on this platform. So, what's next for silver? Technical analysis might say it could break down through that $14 line and have a retest of $12. Sure. I don't know. Who cares at this point? Sure, right? Is there a logarithmic version here? Yes, right? But even if that happens, what's going to happen? Going to test $10 briefly? Are you going to find any physical silver at that price? I don't know. I think that it's ridiculously cheap right now, silver. I think the gold to silver ratio is above 80. It doesn't really get much higher than it is right now. Usually it can, but historically we're about as good as that can get, and which tells you basically we're at a low for precious metals. That's what happens at lows in the precious metals market, as the gold and silver ratio tops out. So it is about that time, and it's about time to load the boat. If any of you are triggered by that phrase, do you remember that from 10 years ago? Load the boat. Do you remember crash JP Morgan, buy physical silver? Do you remember that? What else was there? Silver to the moon? I don't know. Stuff like silver's going extinct. Now, we eventually figured out that one was wrong. That was a disinfo or whatever, a misinfo that was going around for years, and we figured out that was wrong. But most of it is true, and silver manipulation did turn out to be true. This is a fake chart you're looking at here. It ain't real. I don't know what the correct price for silver is, but let's say it could be in the hundreds, easily, very easily, close to 1,000 maybe, or above 1,000 even, for sure, absolutely. In these devalued dollars, yes, absolutely. It's not a precious metal. It's not a valuable precious metal that's used in hundreds of important industrial processes all around the world, is it? Maybe it is. Oh yeah, it is. It's supposed to be a precious metal anyway. This price is fake. If you have 14.7 US dollars right now, you can get an ounce of precious metal. A nice troy ounce, a nice thick round slab of cold hard precious metal for $14, the price of a movie ticket. Like, can you see a movie for under $14 anymore? Not with a bag of popcorn, you sure can't. But anyway, I think we can move on now, but I'll just wrap it up there. I've talked for 20 minutes or so. And thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the shot of tomato plants at the beginning, and this discussion about sort of YouTube, the channel, silver, and related topics. Please leave comments. That helps the, it helps the algorithms remember that I'm still here and not delete me quite so quickly. So comments and those kind of things, and keeping the conversation going is important. So thank you guys. See you over on Steemit if you want more regular content where I post just about daily. Talk to you soon.